Hi guys. Okay, let's talk about fear. Fear is so real, and I think we all have it. We all face it in different areas of our lives. We all have to overcome it. We all have encountered it at some point in our lives. And fear is so crippling because we'll have an idea. How many times have you had an idea to do something and then you're all excited about it in the initial stage of the idea formation, the conception of the idea, but then when it comes time to maybe take some steps to move toward that idea coming to pass, or to put some things in place for it, how many times do we get crippled by fear? We say, oh my gosh, and we think about everything that could go wrong, and we don't take that leap of faith. We don't take that step forward to go into that thing. I know so many times fear has crippled me, and what fear will just keep you from doing the things that you were called to do. Fear will keep you from exploring new adventures, exploring new territory, from just going out and doing stuff, because it wants to inhibit your life, you see. And it is in 2 Timothy that God says that he has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so fear doesn't come from him. Fear doesn't belong to him, and so therefore fear doesn't belong to us. But why do we hold on to it? It's so easy to allow fear to inhibit us and to stop us from doing, and another thing that I've realized over the years is that fear is also an indicator. Anytime I feel I feel fear, or I have felt afraid to do something, to have a particular conversation, to launch out, to do something new, is because on the other side of that thing is victory. On the other side of that thing is purpose. On the other side of that thing is something great that God has in store for me. And so the enemy would bring fear to try and hinder, to try and cripple me from going forward. And that's what the enemy does. That's his modus operandi, to bring thoughts of fear, to bring thoughts of doubt into our minds, to stop us. And sometimes it's, we might share an idea with someone and they will instill fear in us based off of something that has happened to them. They tried it and it didn't work. And so we take that onto ourselves and we say, I don't want to try. But try. Fear is a lie. Fear is a lie, but it's an indicator that the thing that you're afraid to do is really for you to do. Think about it that way. So when you encounter fear again, think about the possibility that the enemy is trying to keep you away from something. And if you do this thing, if you push past this fear, what lies on the other side? I remember I have a friend who insists on me driving her car. You know who you are. And I have been so intimidated to drive the vehicle. It's just so, I don't know. And I'm a good driver. I've said that before. I'm an excellent driver. I'm very comfortable in my own car. I can drive it and I'm good. But she'll want me to drive her vehicle. Like if she's tired or something like that, she'll want me to drive. And I remember we were on the highway, which I don't like driving on the highway either. The highway is a whole other story. And we were coming back into Kingston from the country, and she was driving and she was tired. So two things are at play now. I don't like driving on the highway. I'm afraid of the highway, and I'm afraid to drive her car. And I refuse to take the wheel because of fear, because I'm now thinking, Lord, if something happen to our car, I don't have the finances to fix it. If something happen to our car, and then I'm going to be responsible that something happened to us when I was driving. And all of these thoughts are going through my head, even though at the core, I'm an excellent driver. Fear. And so the other night we were together and she was tired and she was like, you're driving. And this is the second time it's happened, so I'm not so afraid anymore. And she just threw her key into my clothes and I had no option. She was not going into the driver's seat at all, and I had to drive. And the drive was fine once I overcame the initial intimidation to drive this vehicle, And so fear comes, and sometimes it's some silly stuff, sometimes it's some little minuscule things, and you realize, why am I fearful? Why am I afraid of this thing? And so it's for us to really unearth the reasons behind our fear and not coddle fear. Fear is not to be coddled. Fear is to be overcome. And so we have to take those steps in the direction to overcome our fear. It's not something that we must just hug up and say, I just some stay and we can't. We must overcome it because it didn't come from God. And we don't want any deposits in us that didn't come from him. So I'm encouraging all of us today to look at fear, look fear right in the face, and determine to overcome it because it didn't come from God. It does not belong to you. Have a great day. Bye.